Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. My name is Greg McDaniel. I have Mr. Nick Sakis and Mr. Gene Volpe. We are going to rock your world. We're going to talk about Chat GTP, a
Nope.
masterclass. What? What's your issue? What are you
What are we
complaining about?
talking
Did
about?
I did I put it in there backwards, or did you read it backwards?
Yeah,
He read it
you
back.
put it right. You put it in backwards.
Oh boy.
Well,
Nick is the dyslexic one today, everybody. I didn't do it. It is Chat GTP, not GPT.
No,
no,
it is GPT.
Oh, well, then
Great start. We got a great start. Yeah.
We're off to a good run. Thanks for screwing it up. Thank you. Anywho, this is going to be awesome. We're going to go into deep and kind of what Nick's doing at GTP right now with a couple another companies working with, what he's doing with me. We're going to read off a couple of what he's creating, kind of an idea and a plan and a budget we're going to put behind it. And then next time we come back with a masterclass, we're going to reveal behind the curtain what the results are. They've already been phenomenal for the other companies. So before I talk the entire effing show, Mr. Nick Sakis, the ever shrinking man, welcome, brother. How are you?
What's up, guys? So I have a burning question. Number one, still go Rays. The Rays are still crushing skulls right now. They're playing every single game like it's a playoff game, and I absolutely love it. Like a hungry high school college team in the big leagues, just eating people's lunch. So I love that. Number two, I want to know how Mr. Gene Volpe's men's retreat was last week. We talked about all the meats and cheeses that you were going to consume, and I was very jealous at the time. So let me know how that was.
Well, it
And
was.
are you still there? Because you're in a weird location. So are you still eating meats and cheeses?
I actually am eating fairly well out here. I'm in Vegas this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got in trouble. How about if we say that?
Okay.
And we'll leave it there. I got in a little bit of trouble. So
Okay.
we went out. Here's the common theme, right? When I leave my house with a gallon of wine, it's never going to end well. And that's how the night started, right? So
Nice.
yeah, so I got in some trouble. Meats and cheeses were eaten. Probably more meats than cheeses.
Yeah.
There was also some pasta in there. We had a little. I'll tell you a funny story, right? So you guys will get a kick out of this. So you know I'm Italian, right? So well, I am.
I thought you were Greek.
I am not Greek.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's not Volpus. It's not Volpus. It's Volpe.
Volpus, yeah.
So this was 2 times ago, right? So what they do is halfway through the event, they sell raffle tickets, 50-50, right? And at the last one we were at, it's a huge joke because we have a table of 10 or 15 or 20 guys, depending on the week. And the last time we were there, it was probably 18 of us.
Right.
These women are selling these tickets, man, hotcakes, $5 a ticket, $5, 5 for 20. They're selling them. I would say our table everybody spent $20 from our table. So do the quick math. 18 people, it's about $400, right? So I'm watching. There's got to be 200 people in this room. So they're selling. They come up at the end. And the guy's like, okay, we're going to pick the 50-50. The prize is $68.
What?
And I was like, look, if it's a 90-10, call it a 90-10. Like, don't try to pull the wool over my ass.
Yeah.
So, of course, like a sucker, last time I did the same thing. Here's something interesting. At this one, you're going to start to see a trend here, I think. The Italians are funny. This one, the guy behind us. So there's 2. I have a table with our 10 guys. There's a table that we're with, 10 of us, and then the table behind us.
Yeah.
Well, they come to my table first, then they go to the table behind us, and then come back here. The reason why that's important is because the numbers that were called, the guy behind us wins them, right? So it's in between our numbers. So everybody's like, somebody from the table is going to win, right?
Yeah.
They pick it. The guy behind us wins, goes up, and I forget what there was. There were 2 prizes. It was a 75% of the 50-50, and then a second prize was 25% of it. The guy goes up and wins. Before he gets back to his seat, they call a second number. He wins again.
Yeah.
What?
I swear to God.
So we had a similar story bingo night at our kids' school, and there was 5 prizes that night. There was 5 different games. We won our table between me, my 2 boys, and the wife. Won 3 of the 5 prizes, and everybody was calling BS. And it was like in sync. It was like the first prize that went out, we got. Middle of the thing, we got the second one, and then the third one at the end, and people were just screaming like, this was rigged. What are you guys doing back there? Like, I've never won anything in bingo my whole life. It's crazy.
Well, you got your whole lifespan done in one day.
Yeah, right. I'll never win bingo again. That's how it works.
Let's talk about winning big with GTP. Let's get into this master class. Let's play the Sakis game of bingo, and all of us win big.
Oh,
So
okay.
walk us through a little bit, Nick, kind of what you're doing for another company. You can give them that name of that company if you feel that you want to, and kind of where do you come up with this idea, and how is it working out, and where do you see it going for real estate agents? And let's talk about what you're building for me as well. So Nick, you have the
That
stage.
is that is a lot to unpack.
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
so let's start off by saying Chat GPT is definitely something that's in the news. Everybody's talking about it. For the most part, most people have logged in and tried it to some capacity. I'm still having conversations with agents that just don't get it, right? And so my thought process behind it, and just so you guys know, I have another Facebook group. You're welcome to join. It's AI empowered agents. We talk a lot about artificial intelligence in there, and there's more trainings and stuff coming inside that group. So I encourage you to go join that, because that's where our think tank is, so to speak. But with Chat GPT, the interesting part about this is, like, yes, you can do a lot of things with it, but you don't necessarily know what to do or how to do it. And up until this point, depending on who you talk to, or who you get your research from, everybody's using it in their own different way, right? We use it in a very specific way at likely.ai to make it as easy as possible. But if you were to just go off the shelf and sign up for Chat GPT for the free version and just play around, it's like, well, what do I actually do? Right. And so, for the most part, one of the first things that agents tend to glom on towards is like the listing description, right? So the listing description, a lot of people have trouble writing a listing description. So it's cool to go in there and kind of make a beautiful listing description, if you will. Now there's HUD compatibility, and you got to have the right prompts. You have to give it the right information from bedrooms and bathrooms and all that, which we do inside Likely as part of the platform. But if you're doing it by yourself, that's usually where people start, right? So then you start thinking about, well, how else can I use this in my business? And the second part of that is usually content. And so a lot of what I've been doing, helping people like one-on-one, or just likely customers that want to use this product more, is all based around what type of content you can use and how to use prompts in your benefit to give you an endless amount of content ideas, so you can go be the local expert in your area, whether it's short form video, YouTube video, or for advertising. So one of the things that we've kind of evolved to, and most of the people that are listening to this have probably known me for a while, been on the show. I've been doing Facebook ads and YouTube ads and advertising in general since around 2013. Started with my own real estate business, and now it's turned into a full-fledged agency where people pay me lots of money to run ads for their business, right? So the kind of the evolution of where ads were 10 years ago to where they are now, um, the whole optimization of ads has changed. It used to be real nerdy. It used to be like target audiences and keywords and all this like nerdy analytical stuff. Now it is 100% reliant on the content. So we use broad targeting almost exclusively all the time, but we're refreshing the content constantly. So the focus is on the content. And the reason why I'm doing this very long-winded explanation, and that's going to play right into Chat GPT, is because if you want to be successful now, you obviously know, as a real estate agent, there's people out there eating your lunch with YouTube channels, and just making video content at scale, right? So if you haven't started making video content at scale, you might feel like you're behind the eight ball. You can still catch up with paid advertising. So that's kind of the thought process here. I always like to turn on paid ads because it can get you to the finish line faster. So what we do, and this is kind of a hack, right? If you were to run one ad, so most small business owners, most agents, they will say, I need to run an advertisement. I need to run one specific ad or two specific ads. So you think in your mind, you're like, okay, I have a buyer's ad running and I have a seller's ad running. Or maybe you're more advanced and you're like, okay, I'm running to expireds or for sale by owners or first time home buyers or people looking at specific properties like pool homes or golf course communities, or like the list goes on and on and on. What we've had massive success with in the past 12 to 18 months is creating a couple of flagship offers, right? And so this is what Greg was talking about beforehand, is if you want to go after sellers, you should have a flagship offer. And we've talked about this on the show before. What is your specific unique selling proposition that if you met somebody in person, like forget advertising, when you're out in the streets and you're talking to people, your friends, family, like what's a unique thing that you do that is different than other agents in your market? Greg had expressed that they do something very well, which is like a pre-listing spruce up, if you will, or help customers kind of put the finishing touch on the home in order to help them sell for more money. So things like getting carpet removed, getting paint done, maybe putting some countertops on, like very basic renovations that can move the needle 10x for listing a home. That's a very important thing, because now you can take a property that might not have sold or sold in not very fast, and now you're going to spruce it up a little bit, maybe in 6 weeks or so, and now you're going to get that homeowner 7,500, depending on the price point. Greg's in California, maybe $200,000 more for the property. That's a big value add, right? So taking that unique offer, what we do now is Greg will make a flagship video or 2 flagship videos explaining that offer. And that's where it used to end in real estate. We would just send that offer out, and it would just be the video that goes out, and that would be it, right? You would track it. It would last for maybe 30 days, 60 days, 90 days before the viewership started falling off, ad fatigue started to kick in. So what we started doing is, and this kind of came from TikTok and how everybody uses TikTok, is instead of just having one flagship video out there, we take that one flagship video, but we record 10, 20, 30, sometimes as many as 50 hooks on the front of that video. And so what that does is it essentially turns your one specific video that has your core offer into 25, 35, 40 different pieces of content that can go out on social media or on these ad platforms. And now the algorithm has enough content to hit all the different pockets of people that you're looking for. Your cost per click goes down, your ROI goes up, the ad campaigns last 10 times longer than they did before. It's just a much better way of doing it. So that was a super long-winded explanation for me to show you how to create some really cool hooks inside ChatGPT. So, Greg, do you have anything to chime in before I take another 25 minutes of the show with my ramblings?
Yeah, not a problem. Actually, it's one of the things I wanted to jump in. I wanted you to finish your thought, though. When it came to utilizing this, we came up with a number of $10,000 because it was a nice round number, and then we also handled all the facilitation of the third party, clientele, not the clientele, but like the laborers. So like the painters, the contractors, the gardeners, the movers, the cleaners. I mean, hardwood floor guys, tile people, whatever. Right? Our team would manage it, and then we would be invoiced directly to us. We would keep a running tab. Once we hit or got near that 10,000 mark, then we would say, okay, look, you need to prioritize. You have this much money. But keep in mind, when we did that offer, we would make sure that we sat down, took a hard look at their equity stance on that property. If it's a close, like we might get our money back, not happening. If there's like 500,000 or 200,000 of equity in the property, sure, not a problem. We'll absolutely do that. We'll front you the cash up front if you're running tight on cash, and then we work it through with an attorney, get a legal document drafted that we go on title as a lien, so they have to repay us, and then we get it all handled for them. We did it for a client, and we were able to put on another $350,000 to $400,000 of value into their home by spending $10,000, and it took all the stress off of their shoulders. They were able then to go buy another multi-million-dollar home, a lesser, more affordable property in their opinion, and they have then referred us a ton of people. We also do the moving side, which I'm sure that you're going to jump into as well. But at this point, that has been a very effective offer for us. But Adam has a question for you, Nick and Gene.
The GPT extension, yeah. So I've played around with that. I don't. So I try to create my own prompts in general, because I've been messing with it a little bit too much. I do like iterations of that. I mean, that's what we do at Likely, is we create dummy proof type stuff, so you can get into it and just press a couple buttons. I guess I'm kind of more of a nerd when it comes to the prompting of things and trying to come up with my own unique sauce. So yes and no, Adam, I guess is the answer to that question, right?
Well, the whole question was, just so people who are listening, Nick, who can't see what he typed in, he says, Adam's question was, have you all tried the Chat GTP extension AIPRM? That's all.
There's a ton. Yeah, there's a ton of extensions out there. Like when OpenAI opened up its API, I guess, what, 2 or 3 months ago to everybody, like that's when the flood started to happen. So yes, there's a ton of unique opportunities for this stuff. It's just a matter of what the use case is for, right? Again, we have very specific use cases for Likely, and I think that's the future of what artificial intelligence is going to be. Is you take because Chat GPT in itself is a race to zero. If companies are building on top of just Chat GPT as like their main source, that's going to be a race to zero because the cost is so low. It's just going to be who's going to be able to promote it cheaper. The real sauce is going to be companies like Likely.ai who puts their own large language model and learning capabilities and information on top of another large language model like ChatGPT, and then makes a very unique, narrow, awesome product specifically for that niche, like real estate. Right? You've seen this example right now with video. There's video creation software. I just posted one last week. There's some really good AI video creation software. Is like, again, that's specific for its lane. There's a blog post I shared with Gene last week. We're writing some blog posts for him. That's one of the best blog post creation tools I've seen. Now, ChatGPT can write a blog post, sure, but this blog creation tool that someone built on top of gave it very specific prompts and SEO optimized it so that it was a perfect, undetectable type of blog post. Where ChatGPT, if you just copied and pasted a blog post from ChatGPT, Google will spank you, or you just won't get visible because it's going to know that it was written by artificial intelligence.
So how do you correct that then?
So, well, okay. So the way that the artificial intelligence works, it's imagination. So just at a very base level, all that Chat GPT is doing, or these artificial intelligence models are doing, is predicting the highest probability of the next word in the sentence. So that's all it's doing over and over and over and over and over again. So when you think about like the term "game recognizes game," right? If you're a slick salesperson, you can recognize a slick salesperson. Artificial intelligence knows when artificial intelligence was used because the probability score of the next word in every word of that article is very high, which is exactly how artificial intelligence writes. We don't write like that. So it knows immediately based on probability scores of all the different words in context, whether it was written by AI or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It actually really helps clarify that quite a bit. Adam wants to get 10 more minutes to soak in all of your knowledge, by the way. But I think that's what's really interesting, and that's why the prompts are so important, because once it's like when you raise a kid, if you tell them, hey, you need to eat your vegetables, and you don't give them the right prompts, like, make it fun or something like that, they're going to be like, this stuff sucks. Or when you're trying to learn how to car, you get prompted to make a right-hand turn when you're in the right-hand turn lane with the right-hand turn blinker on. It's a prompt like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move. Everyone around you, plus yourself, knows what that action is going to look like.
Yeah.
If they don't know where or how to find a prompt or what a prompt is, walk us down that path a little bit so people understand where to kind of look for this.
I want to show one thing real quick on my this is a framework, and I didn't make this. I stole this from, I think it was GPT Insights. Oh, hold on. There we go. So you might have to zoom this in a little bit on your guys' screen, but this is a very easy and interesting Chat GPT framework, right? So I'm not going to tell you exactly what the prompts are, but if you use this guide, it can kind of give you a better idea of how to think through this. So if you're listening to this, Chat GPT prompting cheat sheet, okay, and I'll post this in the comments, or some of you guys can get it from somewhere, or I posted this in the AI Empowered Agents group, so there's another plug for that. But you would prompt it as act as a role, create a task as, and show it in this format. So an example would be act as a marketer, creating an ad copy shown in a list format, or better than that. Act as a marketer for a real estate agent who needs 25 headlines for a Facebook ad in list format. That would be a prompt, right? And so like you can see how you can come down here. So act as a CEO, act as a marketer, act as a real estate agent. What are you actually asking it to do? Write an essay, write a recipe, create an article, a headline, a blog post, sales copy, a video script, right? And then how do you want that copy to be presented to you? In list format, in a PDF, in code, in graphs, rich text, summary. So this is a really cool, like, this would be like the cheat sheet guide, I would say, to have in your back pocket. So it would help you spur your brain on how you can get better outputs of Chat GPT.
Interesting. Well, that's a huge chart here, guys. And get a hold of Nick. Nick, where can people get a hold of this one more time? Because I think this is invaluable and really start to play with it. And so where can they get this?
I will post a picture of this in the comments. So anybody watching this on my personal feed or McDaniel's personal feed can get it. If you want to go to nicksakis.com and join, like there's a link to our AI Empowered Agents group. It'll be in there. That's probably the easiest way. So one of those two things, you'll be able to get it.
Okay, that's absolutely perfect. This answers quite a bit of questions that I had, and it makes it very simple. So you go from left to right, act as, role, pick one, create a task, pick one, and then show as, and then the format. So show as HTML or PDF or list or summary, but you just tell them how you want it verbalized, right?
Yep. Super easy.
Pretty stinking simple.
Here's an example. And again, so this is, I'm not using the likely.ai version. We have this built into likely.ai, but for not sounding too much like an infomercial from Likely, I wanted to show just the Chat GPT version, right? So this is...
Well, if you guys are actually listening to this on your audio, if you want to see this, go to my Facebook page, look up this title, Chat GTP Masterclass, go to minute 20, and you can start looking at this with a visual representation. Just a quick little heads up there.
So here's the basis for this prompt, and the reason I gave such a long-winded explanation when we were talking before about all the different content that you need to create, right? So as a real estate agent, it can become very overwhelming to know how much content to create or when to create or how to create it. So this prompt will help you, and maybe I'll put this in the comments too. It's a really long prompt, because what I did is based on those hooks that I was telling you about. So I want you to see my face real quick. So all of these, the past 12 to 18 months, I've been compiling all the best frameworks of hooks for short form content for business owners. And so this has been like an ongoing list, and it's not something that I totally made up. I've stolen from other creators, like everybody likes to do, right? Rip off and duplicate. So there's about 5 or 10 different guys in the space that I follow and meet, creating prompts myself. So I've had this ongoing like Excel sheet or Google sheet, if you will, of all these different video hook ideas. Because what ends up happening is, if you can create or have video hooks, then you have video topic ideas. So all you really need to make a lot of content is just the hook idea. Because once you have the hook idea, then the video will come to you, especially if you are an expert in the field, you'll be able to do all this, right? So
sorry,
no problem.
Hit the wrong button.
So what I have been doing this week specifically is making unique hooks for each one of the people that I work with, right? So instead of just giving, and this is a perfect example of how artificial intelligence is going to help you continue to provide more value for your customer. I provide a ton of value for the people that work with me just by giving them these frameworks. And that used to be good enough. I used to say, hey, here's a bunch of frameworks you can use. Go off and run with it. And people were thrilled. They'd be like, oh man, this is so much better. I can just read this example. Well, now one step down the rabbit hole, I can take all of these unique headline frameworks and I can plug it into Chat GPT, and I could say, hey, read all of these headlines that I just gave you, and then act as this specific business and give me 100 more hooks for that business. So what ends up happening, and this is what I'll show you on the screen, what ends up happening is this is the hook. Okay. So I say, read these video intro hooks, and then here's all the different frameworks that I posted in here. There's about maybe 80 or 100 of them. And it could be, just to give you an example. So let me read a couple of them. So it'll be like, only do this if you want to grow your quote business. If you don't want to, then keep scrolling. So everybody's heard that. Hey, if you don't want to grow your real estate business, you don't have to keep scrolling. Like that's an interesting hook, right? And so I could go one by one and put all of these in here, but that takes a lot of time, right? This is getting scary, and it could get really bad for all real estate agents. Let me explain. And if you're in the Likely world, I used a lot of these hooks for the ads that are running right now for likely.ai. But so anyway, I got 100 of these different ideas, which would be good enough. So I took these and I put them in there. I said, Chat GPT, read this. And then at the very end, I said, use these intro hooks as an example, and then give me 100 hook ideas for company name, McDaniel Group, and how the McDaniel Group can help luxury homeowners renovate their home to sell for top dollar. Very basic, This isn't anything that's mind blowing, but it then spit out, let's see, I think I got 80. And sometimes it times out. So I tell it to keep going 50, 60, 70. Yeah. So now I have 88 hooks that are specific to Greg McDaniel. Attention luxury homeowners, discover how the McDaniel group can transform your home and top dollar sales. Like that's a little wonky. Okay. Are you a luxury homeowner looking to sell? Don't miss these tips from the McDaniel. Now, if Greg was reading this, he would say, are you a luxury homeowner looking to sell? Don't miss these tips I'm going to share with you in the next 5 minutes. Boom. Now you're into it, right? Renovating your luxury home for sale. The McDaniel Group reveals the top secrets to increasing its value. Want to sell your luxury home at its highest potential? The McDaniel Group knows exactly how to help. Learn how the McDaniel Group has helped countless luxury homeowners renovate and sell their home for top dollar. So now I have very unique specific titles for Greg McDaniel specifically that I give to him, and it just makes for much better, an easier way to have content created. So you would take something like this and you would now create 20 or 30 intro hooks, and you record all those hooks, and then you have your one flagship video on the back end, and now you have 20 or 30 different pieces of content. Because if you spend 2 weeks trying to create the perfect video, which a lot of us do, a lot of us real estate agents who don't create a whole bunch of content, we'll spend a lot of time creating a really good flagship video that nobody watches. And the reason why nobody watches it is because the first 3 seconds of the video are your logo sting that you bought from Fiverr. And then the next 20 seconds of the video is you introducing yourself as the preferred luxury agent in Tampa Bay or wherever you're from. And so the user doesn't even get to second 31 on your video. So what this does is the first 10 to 15 seconds of your video are all these different hooks that you're speaking directly to all of these different pockets that you're advertising to. And most of the time, people need to see your stuff 7, 10, 12 times before they even click to listen. So you can have the same flagship video running with 25 different front hooks, and nobody's going to be any wiser because they're probably not going to listen to 3 or 4 of them until they get to one hook that actually speaks to them, and then they listen to the whole video. So this is like a super powerful. If I can tell you that most of the biggest names right now in the industry, in advertising or whatever, oh, that's a terrible view.
No, yeah,
are using this strategy for their advertising and or their social media. So I just broke it down for you for Chat GPT, how to use it for these hooks, create the hooks, and go kick some ass.
What happened to him?
I don't know. He left. I think I talked too much and he just ran away.
I went running for the hills immediately. I hit the wrong button. Sorry, dude. That was some awesome shit, dude. I mean, that's really in depth. I mean, you went deep on this to a point where even I can track most of what you're talking about, but holy mackerel! I mean, you're already seeing good results with Likely. And how long did it take you now that you have a formula built? How long would it take an agent to create something like this, or copy and paste and duplicate in their marketplace using Likely or Gene and his team? I mean, using anyone on REU. But how do you start with this? I mean, because you're an expert.
It's the efficiency of the whole thing, right? So frameworks help you get to a certain point. So if you bought somebody's and the same thing like with GPT prompts, like people are selling GPT prompts. And why do people buy GPT prompts? Because there's FOMO. There's like, oh, this, I don't necessarily know how to talk to this thing. Well, how about before you buy a bunch of BS prompts from somebody that they probably swiped from somebody else, just use the product for a couple weeks, right? And it's there's a lot of common sense behind this stuff. You just have to use it and play with it, right? But if you don't have the time and you're busy crushing it in real estate and you just want to get to the fastest path, that's usually like pay somebody, right? I'm not saying to pay me. I'm just saying in general. But this strategy, this social media strategy is super powerful. And I think that anybody who's utilizing the strategy now, the people that I've talked to, guys that I've trained and or that didn't necessarily even know about this are having massive success because, like I said in the beginning of the show, the only thing that these big ad platforms care about is content and volumes of content. So if you're used to posting once a day or once a week or don't have a lot of content to post, this is a great strategy because now you take one piece of content that you would already record anyway. So let's say it took you an hour, right? Let's say you had the presentation down, you had the flagship, the sales letter, video sales letter, whatever, and you were going to record that. Well, you're going to record it anyway. It's going to take you 45 minutes and an hour to do it. Let's say, okay? Why not stick around for another 10, 15 minutes and just have all these hooks and just read all these hooks? Now, the compounding factor of this is, okay, well, now I have 25 different videos to edit. So whether you have a video editor or not, you would have to take the primary video and splice the first part of that in. Again, not to promote the group again, but I'm going to promote the group again because inside of our AI group, I did a 1 hour long training on how to use a AI video editing tool that you don't have to know how to be a video editor. It's through text. It's called Descript. And you can literally edit a video through just reading it like a Word document. You copy and paste and it edits the video for you. So you don't have to be a video editor.
That's good to know. How
Really
much does that cost?
It's like, I think I pay $99 a month because I use it a lot. I think they have a $20 version. It's not expensive.
Okay, that's right. Shoot. I mean, that saves my bacon quite a bit. I know it'll save a lot of other people. So it's called Descript.
Descript. Descript.
Descript. Okay, perfect.
If you're not a video editor and you know you need to be doing video, then you need to go to the YouTube University and watch some videos on Descript. It's awesome. Or you can come into our Facebook group and I'll watch my video, right?
You should. Oh, Nick, quick little pattern interrupt here. We have a hater and a troll. We have Eggy breads. My balls stink like fried chicken and barbecue sauce.
I know some people that might like that. Depends. I don't know.
Oh, when I saw that, I'm like, wait, I know I'm dyslexic, but what the fuck is he saying?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Stink like fried chicken and barbecue sauce. Well, sounds like a personal issue, buddy. It's called hygiene.
Nice.
Back to our regular scheduled program after our troll.
Yeah. We got Ryan Owens in the house. Good morning, sir. I don't know. You're from Tampa. This shouldn't be good morning. It's 2:00 in the afternoon, bro. What are you doing? You just waking up? Good friend in the media space. He's doing some cool things. So happy to have you on. And then Adam House playing around with GPT 3.5 and GPT 4. Ask the same question to each and see different stuff. Yeah. So if you sign up for Chat GPT right now, there's 3.5 Turbo. So if you get the free version, you'll get the 3.5 Turbo, which is still very good. That's what we have built into Likely.ai right now. We don't have GPT-4 built in quite yet. There's a little bit more workarounds that have to go there, but just know that GPT-4 is, I think the last number I saw was like 800 times more powerful than GPT-3. It's an insane amount, and it also has, so it's more generative AI. It also does images on top of just text. So it's like the first iteration of the holy shit, what can this thing do, right? So if you upgrade GPT and you pay for the $20 a month subscription, you get the GPT-4. But I can promise you, everybody that's on this call that's listening to this, the free version will blow your mind for sure. GPT-4 is blowing my mind, who's been in this for a while. So just to kind of give you some context.
Yeah, there's a 5-minute video just came out on GPT-4 on YouTube. I'll place the link here in the comments so you guys can go take a look at that. I don't even know what the damn thing's going to say, but I think it's worth understanding.
Adam says, does it have a maximum number of prompts it will spit out? I think Adam, it's more on the intake side. It's more on how much it can digest. So I guess, yeah, if the free version, if you're talking about the free version versus just the paid version, then yeah, the free version, you get timed out and it's limited, and you might only get, some people get lucky. I've talked to people that are like, I've never paid for ChatGPT and I've gone on every time and never had an issue. And I think that depends on when you signed up. If you were an early adopter before all the masses and signed up like in October of last year, then yeah, I think you get some priority. But for the most part, if you've never logged on before and you try to log in today for the first time, you're going to get timed out.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always gone on, maybe because I did sign up in October or something. Whenever we did our first show on this,
when I told you about it, I was like, dude, sign up for this. Yeah. So you might have.
I think it was probably around that time last year. Makes sense.
Adam says he has GPT-4 and he's limited to 25 prompts. Adam, you just saw my screen, I'm paying for GPT-4, like that's the playground, and I got 85 prompts on that output, 88. So yeah, I don't know, dude.
That's huge. Oh my God. Well, you've already sunk a ton of knowledge into everybody. I don't want to overwhelm everybody too much. Let's back it up for half a second. And with giant kid gloves, walk them through the first couple of steps to find things. And then I want everybody to go back and watch. After you've done these next couple of very simple steps, go back and watch this video and let Nick's voice walk you through the next step. So, Nick,
What
let's
steps?
take
What
a
do you
couple of
mean?
minutes
I'm
and just
not.
do that.
What do you mean?
So give me a couple of free, easy, a couple of steps, like one, identify something that you want to promote or talk about, right?
Oh yeah,
Understanding the
okay.
value add proposition, walk
Yeah.
us
So
through that.
when
From
it comes to like creating your content, right? So the worst thing you can do is just wake up every morning and try to think about what to do as content. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of pain. You might last a week or two. It's kind of like going on a diet. Like you get all hyped up about going on a diet, and then like 2 weeks later you get invited to a barbecue and you're like, shit, I want some barbecue. I don't want to do this anymore, right? I want to have fun. Same thing. You have good intentions with making video and content in general. If you don't have the plan, then you're screwed. So I would highly recommend you make a plan of attack, if you will. And so let me see. Do I still have this screen up? I don't know if I should share this or not, because here's a framework. I'm going to share this. It's not a big deal, but
Okay, your call.
okay. So add to stream. Here we go. So here's a very basic framework that I use, and you can see just the top part of this. This is an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet. This is kind of how I plan an easy amount of content, right? I showed on before a content wheel, and this is kind of the same way. So you have these pillars of content. And so for like this likely.ai content, it would be, we're talking to agents, team leaders, brokers, and lenders. So for a real estate agent, it might be first time home buyers, sellers, people looking for specific or your town. Like when we talk to Ramon, he does the food
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, right? So pick 3 to 5 buckets of content, just overall overarching content. So who are you speaking to? 3 to 5 different buckets. So if you're a real estate agent, it could be things to do in town. It could be talking to sellers. It could be talking to buyers. And it could be maybe even your unique value proposition, right? And then all you're doing underneath that, and you can see how this matrix kind of splits out, is now there's like 15 different talking points for each one of those categories. So you have 4 categories, and then you have 16 video ideas. So the first one, if you're not watching this, if you're just listening, all the different topic ideas would be common mistakes, common myths. For us, it would be playbook prompts. If you have like cheat sheets or guides or seller guides or something like that, you can make it around that. Tips, inspiration, personal journey, belief shift, an objection that someone has, social proof, a promotion of maybe like a specific listing, you as a thought leader, maybe some controversy, recent events, and like documenting your life. So now that when you take 25 minutes to actually like make this Excel spreadsheet, now you can wake up and go, okay, so yesterday I made a video about buyers. Today I want to make a video about sellers, right? And so you go column B or C or whatever. Okay, so what are the common mistakes that sellers make before they sell their home? What are some common myths that sellers think about before they sell their home, right? Here are 5 tips that I'm going to give you today to sell your home for top dollar, right? A personal journey and maybe an example. What's a belief shift that maybe you have a seller, maybe it's a for sale by owner, and that for sale by owner thinks real estate agents suck. So how do you shift a for sale by owner's belief on why real estate agents don't suck? Maybe you provide a case study video of how you help somebody crush it, right? So once you have like this framework, this is like the top level. So you have frameworks turn into hooks, which turn into content, right? So all I've been doing for the past couple years is giving people that I work with these frameworks, and I would build them out custom, and then I'd have all these examples, but now I can give examples as like very unique, direct. How would your company blah 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 blah, right? And so Chat GPT has allowed me to do that at a much higher level, and here we are.
Hmm.
So if you use that framework, think about 3 to 4 categories of content, like big blocks that you would want to use. Like I said, listings, buyers, your town, things to do, like if you're in a vacation destination, it might be vacation spots. It might be, if you're Greg, if it might be your dog parks, like best dog parks in the area. If you like playing golf, it might be best golf course communities, right? Like, so have these couple of layers, and then now you just have all these different ideas. So that instead of just waking up and thinking like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You have a framework that's ready to go. And if you have that framework, then you could just make, like, so what I do is time block everything. And so once you have all this stuff done, if you don't want to make video every day, you don't have to. You can make video once a month. You could have just a video day. And that one day you make 30, 40, 50 videos because you have all the content ideas just there and it just flows. And then you just post it throughout the month and you're good to go.
That's a lot of videos in one day, but I think it's a great idea. Don't be afraid of it, guys. People, if you haven't done a lot of video, and we've said this a bajillion times on this show, look, everybody likes you and they already know what you look and sound like. So go out there and just be the wonderful human being you are. Bring the value that I know you can bring, and Nick knows you can bring. If you guys want to hire, I'm totally throwing them under the bus on this. If you guys want to hire Nick or be a part of what he's growing, Nick, where are a couple of places they can maybe go to Likely and get a consult on how to use this with their Likely data, and also how to maybe hire you to do this or have you develop something for their teams. Is that something you're offering at this point, or is it mainly just
Yeah,
kind
I
of
mean,
watching
if you come into Likely, yeah, I'm offering to do calls with people that come in. So if you come into the Facebook group and you want to reach out, you can reach out there. If you go to nicksakis.com, there's links in there to get a free trial for Likely, which brings you into my world. There's also links there if you want to hop on a Zoom with me. I've done some trainings for brokers at this point, or team leaders that have, if you need a training, if you got a 25-person team or a 50-person team and you want to adopt Likely and know the best practices, that would be a good spot for that, right? We'll set you up there.
Okay, there it is, guys. Go follow Nick. Guys, go back and listen to this again. I mean, there's some serious stuff that is that Nick dropped on you. I'm personally excited because he just told me about this out at the time of this recording this morning in pre-show that this is what he was doing and has been doing. I'm gonna jump in like a kid on a cupcake, and I'm going after this thing. I'm gonna record a ton of videos. I'm gonna put a budget of about $1,000 behind this to really beta test this stuff because I have another offline idea that I'm gonna take as soon as I know which ads pulling the best. I have another idea, and once I vet it out, I will tell you guys about it. We have to make sure that I want to make sure that these numbers work, and I think Nick is doing the first part about it. So it is something that is in front of you every time you go buy something, but you have never seen the opportunity. Think about it. Put your comments in the bars below. Nick, takeaways for yourself, and then you need to put a color on the bow for the show.
My takeaway is Gene Volpe left us without even saying anything. I guess I was talking way too much today.
Yeah, he got bored of you and just left.
Yeah, he left.
Middle fingers, like, I'm in Vegas, bitches. I'm gone.
Yeah. I've already heard all this stuff before from you. I don't need to listen to you anymore.
Blah 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 blah
blah.
blah. Sakis is
do we have any updates on this potential yet almost definite REU live event? Would be my question.
Working on it. They are starting the golf course either this week or next week on the property. I'm not sure how fast they're going to move on that, but I know that's something they do want to get done. And then it's just going to be probably end of year sometime, I'm assuming, to get us all the nooks and all the not the nooks, but all the wrinkles kind of straightened out on regards to planning. And then, guys, it's going to be very small and intimate, 4 to 8 people max that are going to be on the property. If more people want to come, either there will be a fee to cover the cost for the event, or if you guys sign up with EXP with me, that fee will be waived. So let's have some fun, guys. There are hotels around. They're just a few minutes away. So if you and your team want to come out and can't stand the property, we will figure something out and we'll have a lot of fun. So that is it. We are looking forward to building this thing out.
Adam said you need to teach him a golf swing.
Yeah, it's called a hook. Just don't stand to my left.
That's awesome because I have a slice. I have a baseball slice.
Yeah.
So you're the opposite.
In all honesty, I'm actually really pretty good at golf if I even halfway try. But
Yeah.
my ADHD kicks in and I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Rather
yeah.
go smoke a beer and drink a cigar. Yeah, that's exactly what you do, Greg. Drink a beer and smoke a cigar, sitting up next to the pool or something. But anyways,
Yeah.
yes, the event we are actively working on it, guys. You just have to pay to get out here. There's a lot of cool stuff around this location. It'll be in Northern California, kind of near Sacramento, in a city called Grass Valley on a 10-acre estate. So yeah, food, lodging, tons of knowledge. And a lot of just good camaraderie and bonding and networking. So
Nice.
let's talk about that as we get closer. And if I'm able to steal some leaked photographs of the construction of the golf course. Now it's not PGA grade. Don't get all excited about it, guys. It's a fun, smaller golf course. It's like putt versus like a 9-hole or a par 3 like chippers. So bring out like your 7 irons and putters essentially, right, and have a blast.
The worst time I ever had on a golf course was playing with a guy who's a scratch golfer.
Oh, forget that.
And we played 18 holes and he beat me with just a 7 iron.
That's just insult.
That's the only club he played with the whole time we played, and he beat me by, I think it was like 10 strokes. It was double digits. I don't remember. I shot like an 88 and he was like almost, it was ridiculous. Putting with a 7 iron. I'm like, dude, I'm never playing with you again. That's ridiculous.
That's just a dick move, but funny as all hell.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, give us a color for the bow on the show.
I think we got to go PGA green, baby.
I like it.
Because we're talking about golf, right?
All right, PGA green, guys. There's the color for the bow of the show. We're gonna give Gene's color on the bow of the show of puke orange and yellow mixture.
Or maybe, yeah. Adam said I need allergy medicine. He is correct. I'm sorry if I've been hacking on this microphone for the last half hour.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm just stuffed up. I can't smell anything right now. So you and I are on the same thing. So we have a puke green and a PGA green on this bow for the show, guys.
Nice.
God, that is such good content. And love all you guys are hanging out with us. This is honestly been one of the best shows we've put out in 2023 so far, with just hardcore hitting content. Nick, thank you. Guys, go back and rewatch it again. I keep saying that, but go back and rewatch it because you're going to get more out of this. Reach out to Nick about likely.ai. Reach out to him about the spreadsheet or the photo he's going to put in here in the comments. We love you. We literally love you. So much that I cough on you.
Yeah.
Spread my love to you. And we can't do the show without you. So spread it out to your broker, your friends, your attorneys, your other real estate agents. Guys, if there's anybody that can hear this some content with a little bit of laughter built in, think of us. But we'll be here for the next shows. We'll see you guys next week. Until next time, be good to each other. And peace out, ninjas. We gone.